Closing the window so you don't have to hear the cars drive by on this humid day in Buffalo, New York. When I'm sweating a lot cause I'm Dean Gornitis with Unleash This Book Reviews. Yeah! Dean Gornitis, Unleash This Book Reviews, bringing you new book reviews on like a close to weekly basis, more often when I finish books and especially when you guys nag me about it. This week, getting back into the literature stuff, that stuff that scratches at your mind, makes you want to be a better person, makes you question the world around you, makes you a better reader. Looking into By Night in Chile by Chilean author Roberto Bolaño. There's a tilde, I believe it's called, those squigglies over the N, and I'm bad at pronouncing that stuff, just like I'm bad at pronouncing the main character's name in this story. Luckily, his name doesn't matter too much. By Night in Chile is like 130 pages long. It's a short one, but the thing you're going to notice when you first open it is that it's written all in one paragraph. It's 130 pages without a single paragraph break. And while that sounds daunting at first, it really becomes easier than you'd think. But I'll get into that. First of all, let's talk about the story, what the story's kind of about. What you look at here, the main character is a priest, and he's a dying priest. He's on his deathbed as he's telling us the story of his life. Very feverishy rant. It doesn't seem like he's got complete control of his mind, but good enough to tell us his story before he passes on. And although he was a priest, he kind of was a half-hearted one who didn't really want to be in the priesthood as much as he wanted to be part of the literary circle. And while he tried to contribute to poetry by writing his own poems and tried to be one of the best Chilean poets around, his real success came from his literary reviews, which, although he found to be engaging and fun to do, kind of was a downer. I mean, who wants to be known for their reviews when they can be known as an author, right? I mean, me included. I'd rather be an author than just discuss about other people's works. Of course, when you're trying to be an author, one of the hardest parts is coming across the money to do so, and that's where the story really kind of centers on, is the main character's kind of pain and anguish and hatred, inner hatred towards himself at the choices he made to sort of stay financially stable rather than sticking to his guns and doing what he really believed in. Specifically being paid to support the historically accurate Pinochet. That's what's an interesting thing about By Night in Chile. Although it's fiction and there's fictional characters, it's based in historical truth. Pinochet was apparently a military general who took control of Chile for a long period of time, not too long ago, relatively recently. And those who know their history better than I can attest that this guy was not that great of a leader. Violent, cruel, stuff like that. Most people kind of wanted an uprising over him, from what I've learned about it. But the main character here gets sort of weaseled into helping out Pinochet and teaching him about how to best defeat his enemies, who most Chileans kind of wanted to succeed, by what I take from it. Basically, the main character kind of had to sell himself short in life, and now that he's dying, he's feeling the regret and the pain, and he talks a lot about the wizened youth in this story, which I kind of take to be himself as a younger person who hadn't compromised on his beliefs and really wanted something better than what he came out with. And this wizened youth that he brings up haunts him throughout the story, echoing that he could have been better, that he should have done better, that, you know, he could have been a better person and that he wasn't. Kind of depressing take on that. I think what the author was really trying to pull here, though, was sort of a satire of the artist's life, and how while there's a lot of evil and pain going around in the world, rather than helping out and fixing that kind of stuff, or at least even being aware of it, artists in general kind of dive into the world of art and close their minds off from that. And I think this is best illustrated in a long portion of the story where the main character spent a lot of time going to these artistic parties, these gatherings that this hostess would have at her house. She would bring all sorts of artists, from authors to painters to literary reviewers, critics, stuff like that, and they would all come and discuss and chat and everything like that. But as this was going on, her husband was downstairs in the basement torturing political enemies. He worked for the government and was doing this all while, you know, these artistic people upstairs had no idea what was really going on. Tell me that doesn't symbolize a little something. It all crashes down on the main character too. He realizes what was going on later in his life. He confronts the party giver about the situation. It seems like he kind of realizes towards the end of his life what he kind of did, how he ran away from the situation that was occurring in the world around him in a much less civil, well-established country at the time than what somebody like myself is used to in the United States, where things, although may not always be right, are much more stable, and we can be appreciative of that, I can say. This is one you gotta read for yourself. One paragraph long. Instead of being a deferment like I first assumed when reading it, it kind of really pulls you in. It gives you that feeling that what he's saying is important and he's delivering it with haste because he doesn't know how much time he has left before he's gonna pass away. Kind of causes you to read the story with that same speed, that I need to finish this in time, that I can't stop. There's no time for stopping. There's no time for paragraph breaks. At any moment this could be the end. We have to get the truth out now. And that's why this book is really an engaging read. At times slightly experimental. What it really does is it gets to the heart of people like me and probably people like you who spend a lot of their times escaping into the world of art. What do you think of that concept? What do you think of the author's critique of people like me and maybe you who do such things? Do you think that's a valid critique? Do you think there's something to be said for escaping into literature? Let me know in the comment section. I'm interested. I want to know what you guys think. Let me say, this is a must read. Pick up the book. You're going to like it. You're going to love it. It's going to change the way you look at reading in general. I really believe that. I've got some books coming up along the way. I've got a user submitted book. I love kind of, you know, looking over stuff that you guys are doing from time to time. So I'm reading over a self-published author again. I'm also looking into Peter Pan, the classic, and I'll get into more literary stuff like By Night in Chile, because I know you guys love that. That's the bread and butter of this channel, you know. You'll be seeing more from me soon. Take care of yourselves, and yeah. I already said see ya, so I'm not going to say it again. Bye.